Well, howdy, Westminster. Coming to you today with our daily devotional. I hope that you have been encouraged by our devotionals over the last week. And this week, we're going to really be talking about God's sovereignty. I'll be preaching on Sunday from Psalm 46. And when I thought about God's sovereignty, I really kind of just went right back to the beginning, Genesis chapter 1. So I want to read for us a couple of verses there. Genesis 1, chapter 1, verse 1. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was without form and void, and darkness was over the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the waters. Do you know the original context, actually, of Genesis? Why Genesis was written? You may think that it was written in order to kind of tell us scientifically exactly how long it took to create the world, but actually Genesis was written for God's covenant people, Israel. And it was written in such a way, and especially in this creation narrative, to show that there is one true God. Because Israel was tempted over and over by other gods of this world, Egyptian gods, and those sorts of things. And so Moses systematically goes through the creation. And he said, don't worship the birds of the air and the fish of the sea. Worship the God who made the birds of the air and the fish of the sea. Don't worship the sun, or don't worship the seas or a god of the sea or any of these things. Don't worship those things because they're not really gods. There's one true God. And as I think about the sovereignty of God, I have absolutely no idea what God's purposes are in all of this. But you know what? It's not really my job to understand and to try to pinpoint and figure out exactly all of God's purposes in it. What's important for me day to day is to realize and to remember that there's one true God who is behind all of this. And secondly, and even more amazing, this one true God who created the heavens and the earth has called you and I into relationship with Himself. He wants to walk with us. He wants to be in on everything that's going on in our lives. So much so that He sent His Son to be a part of who we are and what we're doing day by day. So much so that He has now given us His Holy Spirit to walk with us. I hope that encourages you. I hope that as you go about your week, that you will be deeply encouraged by the reality that God is God of the heaven and the earth, and He is sovereign over everything that is happening right now, and that He has called us to be His children, and we get to call Him Father. Not just God, we get to call Him Father. Well, thanks, and hope y'all have a good rest of the evening.